What is negative space? And why does what we remove from sculpture often matter more than what we leave behind? There's a moment in carving when the tool pauses in your hand. Not because the work is finished, but because something unseen has begun to emerge. At first, you might not even recognize it. You're still looking at the surface, the outer form, and the shape you intended to make. But then, something shifts. You begin to notice the space around the form, and more importantly, the space within it. This is where sculpture changes. This is where it begins to breathe. Most people think sculpture is about shaping what is there. The contour, the silhouettes, the visible structure that stands before us. And in the beginning, that's true. We respond to mass, to weight, to the presence of material. But over time, you begin to realize it may be shaped even more by what is not. But if you stay with the process long enough, especially what I found in wood, you begin to realize something else is happening. The form is not only defined by what is there, but what is not. And this absence is not empty. It is active, and it is shaping everything. There's a threshold every sculptor encounters. The first time you cut into the grain of the piece, you are not just refining the surface, but opening it to allow space to enter. It can feel almost like a mistake at first. You spent hours, maybe days, respecting the integrity of the form, and now you ask to remove something that's essential. But when you do, when you step past that hesitation, the work changes immediately. Light begins to move through it. Shadows gather in new ways. The form becomes layered, dimensional, and alive. What you have created is no longer just an object. It becomes a relationship between mass and space. Negative space is often misunderstood as the background, the leftover area, the part we normally don't focus on. But in truth, negative space is a silent structure that gives the work its meaning. It holds tension, and it creates a rhythm. It allows the eye to move, to rest, to return. Without it, everything collapses into a density. Too much form, and the piece becomes closed, even rigid or sometimes unyielding. But when space is allowed to exist, with intention that is placed carefully, of course. The sculpture begins to open itself to the viewer, and actually it will start to invite participation. The eye doesn't just look at it, it moves through it. There is also something deeper at work. Negative space can carry an emotion. A hollow can feel like a longing. An opening can feel like a release, like taking a deep breath. A void can suggest silence. Sometimes in this way, what is removed often speaks louder than what remains. This is why two sculptures similar in form can feel completely different. As artists, we're not just shaping form here. We are shaping experience. And experience lives in the space between things. To work with negative space, you have to learn to see differently. Not just the edges of things, but the intervals between them. You begin to ask quieter questions. Where does the form need to open? Where is it holding too tightly? Where could a breath enter? And perhaps most importantly, what can be removed so that something deeper can be appear. This is not a technical decision, it is a listening. A kind of stillness you enter, where the work begins to guide you. In the end, negative space is not an absence. It's a presence of a different kind. It is the silence that gives shape to sound. The pause that gives meaning to movement. The emptiness that allows form to exist at all. And in sculpture, as in life, what we leave untouched often defines everything. If this way of seeing resonates with you, you may find something meaningful in the other reflections shared here. This is between surface and silence, a space for exploring art, presence, and the quiet forces that shape both.